Air defense system, both the president, the military and analysts all absolutely agree that this is, without a doubt, at this very moment, indeed, currently Ukraine's top priority today. Almost every day, air defense forces prove this by saving thousands of lives and destroying hundreds of aerial targets. Generally speaking, as a rule, the best results are in particular demonstrated by military units equipped with Western models of air defense systems. Among them, the Patriot system is considered almost the gold standard. However, Ukrainians have managed to create their own counterpart to the legendary American air defense missile system, which will begin protecting our skies as early as next year. The Kyiv Design Bureau Luch has been working on this project since 2016. At that time, the goal was set to develop a domestic short and medium-range air defense system. A year before the full-scale Russian invasion, the result of this work was presented for the first time at an international exhibition, a full-scale model of the first missile in Ukraine's history capable of intercepting ballistic targets. That was when the whole world learned about the Coral project.
The Coral air defense system fits the concept of a lightweight mobile air defense system with short and medium range. It is designed to protect specific sites such as thermal power plants, power stations, air bases, port industrial centers, and so on.
Let us clarify right away that information about the Coral project is strictly classified. We will only talk about what the military themselves have permitted us to share. And we will rely on official information about the project that is publicly available. By the way, the latest data from open sources dates back to 2021. At that time, the development was at the stage of preparation for testing. However, much has changed since then.
The first reports about the Coral air defense system date back to 2021. At that time, a representative of the Luch Design Bureau, which is the Ukrainian enterprise developing and implementing this system, reported that the project was 70% complete. So apparently 2024 will be the milestone when Ukrainian cities will finally be protected directly.
So what exactly are they planning to use to shield the Ukrainian sky? Again, according to data from 2 years ago, the Coral systems will use a surface-to-air missile of the same name. Its stated range is up to 30 kilometers. The missile is capable of intercepting targets at altitudes of up to 10 kilometers. With a total weight of 300 kilograms, its warhead will weigh 25 kilograms. The Coral missile has a flight speed of about 1,000 meters per second. The missile itself is equipped with an inertial guidance system and an active homing head. With these notable and impressive characteristics, the Ukrainian Coral system is quite comparable to the technical parameters of the Mika VL SAM system of the most popular and widely used air defense systems in this class. This particular type is in fact widely installed on many different Western corvettes and frigates. But there is one pleasant surprise. These characteristics had been mentioned earlier. However, now the Coral missile with a range of 30 kilometers and the entire system as a whole are actively being compared by analysts to the Patriot system. What's the secret? Judging by a recent post from the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense, during the refinement of those very 30%, the range of the domestic missile was significantly increased, more than threefold. As a result, the missile's flight range has increased from 30 to over 100 kilometers. It is logical to assume that the maximum engagement altitude has also increased.
The main focus is on the production of air defense systems, from ordinary man-portable air defense systems to air defense systems with a range of over 100 kilometers, such as the Coral SAM system.
Even during the presentation itself, in their remarks, the developers very clearly and specifically stated that a flight altitude of 10 kilometers is in fact the minimum guaranteed value. The actual final figures will only be determined later during practical launches. At the same time, these figures can always be further improved by changing the dimensions, increasing the amount of fuel, or for instance by replacing the warhead with another type if necessary, as needed. In short, everything depends on the requirements on the battlefield. At flight speeds over 1,000 meters per second, the Coral can theoretically handle Russian Kinzhal, Iskander, Kh-22 missiles and other fast-flying targets.
The Coral air defense system generally works against targets with a ballistic trajectory, and that is very important.
Moreover, when developing the missile, the designers followed the approach of their Western counterparts, abandoning the Soviet-Russian practice of producing separate missiles for each type of equipment and weapon, which would then require lengthy modernization efforts. At the Luch Design Bureau, they initially created a universal weapon capable of being used on land, at sea and in the air.
And I want to emphasize once again, this is a mobile system. It can have both a land-based version and a naval one. Plus, it is used by Ukrainian aviation systems as an air-to-air missile universal tool.
Once again, for the first time, the same missile can be launched from ground-based launchers, systems installed on warships, and also mounted on aircraft. What do you think of this solution? Share your thoughts in the comments. Can't make a system from one missile. You also need radars, launchers, control systems, and so on. So, in this area, our engineers have also excelled. Back in 2021, the designers announced that everything was ready for the deployment of the new missile.
We have everything. We have target detection and designation stations. The main components of the missile. We have the programs and algorithms that provide exactly the structure of this system. We even have in the end the command vehicle launch platforms, which will implement the proven technical solutions and ensure the transportation and launch of the missile.
Perhaps the equipment used with the new missile had to be modified to meet its new specifications. However, after almost 2 years of close military cooperation with the entire civilized world and having access to Western manufacturing and technologies, there is no doubt that Ukrainian engineers and designers have managed to solve this problem as well. Ukraine's arms sector successes are noted by Ukrainian leaders.
There's a lot, but it's classified. Should we post factory locations from the war on Facebook? Some things exist. No specifics, but things that didn't exist before now number hundreds of thousands, and by years end, millions. And this is local production.
What exactly is being referred to, most of us will only find out after it has been successfully used on the front lines. As this information becomes public, we will definitely share it in our upcoming episodes. However, just knowing that Ukraine will finally have its own modern weapons inspires great hope. So please like this video and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss new episodes of Arsenal.